It is so obvious that Caitlyn's stepdad is solely responsible for this. I can't even say tragedy because, in my opinion, it's beyond tragedy. When I think of a tragedy, I think of somebody who had someone else harm them, who took their life, but she took her own life. She had that much self-loathing at that time that she took her own life. To me, that goes beyond tragic. That's like a whole other realm of tragedy. And the link between what she did and her stepdad, I say that while holding up quotations, stepdad, the link is so uncanny. I mean, I don't want to say according to her because that sounds like she's making it up. I can tell she means every word she's said. She was very candid. She didn't hide anything. She didn't fake her voice like I sometimes do. She was so real about everything, about everything. And she said multiple times in writing and on video how, word for word, that stepdad, when he tried to get into her pants, as she worded it, that he would call her worthless whore. Those are the words that she used. And that one time she mentioned taking a cord and hanging herself, and that he, after that, started telling her, why don't you go hang yourself? Now, how coincidental is it that she goes and right before she kills herself, she keeps saying sorry over and over, and you can tell she means it when she says sorry. You can tell. Any of us who've been in her position before emotionally, we know, first of all, how we've been called attention seekers and drama queens when we have felt that low before for whatever reason. And and one of the things that we say is, I'm sorry, because we truly are. We don't want to hurt anyone when we attempt these sorts of things. She meant it. And what she also meant was, right before she hung herself, she says, I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm such a worthless whore. I'm sorry. The only person who told her that, none of the bullies that she spoke of online would call her emo freak. She never ever made mention of anyone bullies online calling her a whore. The only person she ever said called her a quote unquote worthless whore who needed to hang herself was that horrible stepdad. And what I find especially disgusting is how he's that same yokel hick you see in another video going on and on about in God we trust is written on a dollar bill. Ain't that what you pay for your stuff with? It's like he doesn't even understand history. He doesn't even realize that that wasn't even added until the 50s on dollar bills and stuff, because it was us trying to distinguish ourselves from the communist nation. But anyway, how ironic is it that the person who's sitting there trying to act like he's so godly, that's usually how it is, isn't it? Well, I'm not going to get into a debate about that. But that there is an uncanny link here. Right after she hangs herself, too, right after. And the reason I know that it was very impulsive and all of a sudden she didn't have it planned, isn't it coincidental that she had on a full face of makeup, was dressed very cute the day that the video was taken before she killed herself, where that stepdad kept coming in and out of her room. What you doing in here? What you doing? You can see in the videos on the 28th, he comes in and out of her room over and over. And same with the 29th. He comes in and out of her room over and over to talk to her. She's got a full face of makeup on. In my opinion, certainly doesn't look 12. I'm not saying that that makes it okay for him to hit on her. Don't think that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying because he already has a proclivity and he's already proven to hit on her, I'm sure that didn't help the situation. He already violated her. The mother, he knew, would not care at all because she was doped up. And I'm not saying the mother didn't care that it happened, but she cared about drugs more. I mean, that's what was happening. And the reason I think it was impulsive, I've been there. I'm 29 now, but it still feels like yesterday that I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. And I've been there. I've been impulsive. Things like Prozac, which she was taking the day before the video, I had calm downs from that stuff. I couldn't take Prozac, Paxil, Lexapro. That stuff would only enhance my depression and make me do impulsive things. I'm not blaming it on solely the medicine, but I don't think that that helped at all. She was too young. Your brain doesn't even fully stop developing until you're like 25. She shouldn't have been on Prozac. She should have had her environment should have been changed. She should have been treated like a human being. That's what should have happened. Not doping her up with medicine, or not doping her up, but you know what I mean. Not giving her Prozac. You should have to be over 25 years old when your brain's fully developed to even be taking antidepressants, because usually you just need a lifestyle and environment change. But back to the point. The reason I keep saying that it was an impulsive decision, you can see in the video. Yes, I watched the video because I wanted to see what her mindset was. I wanted to hear her words. You see her walking, and she has anger in her face. She has the same kind of expression that I've had when the father of my kids told me to kill myself, where it was like, you really want me to? That was the expression she had, like that, you really want me to? Like anger, like I'm gonna do this then. Fine. That was the look she had on her face when she, at the very beginning of the video, is walking out of that trailer and decides to do what she did. That's why I have not a doubt in my mind that that piece of shit, that stepdad, told her to hang herself. And then she probably walked outside. That's why she had that look on her face like, fine, damn it. Since no one cares. And rumor has it that she was also told she'd have to repeat the seventh grade because her grades got bad that same day. So that probably also impacted her, considering the fact that she had to play the role of mother all day in that place, and she was threatened that if her grades didn't improve, she would not be able to go outside. I'm sure it was a mix of a bunch of different things. The medicine, the abuser telling her to hang herself. I mean, earlier that day, her family members said that she had asked them if they could rent Finding Dory. That's why I'm saying it was impulsive. That a-hole probably made a move on her. She looked especially beautiful that day with all, and he probably made a move on her, and then she probably rejected it. He probably called her a worthless whore, told her to hang herself. And then that's probably when she was like, fuck it. Fuck it. I might have to repeat the seventh grade anyway. I hate my life. My mom doesn't care about me. Like, the connection is so uncanny, and I'm so sick of people acting like mental health, like, just call them crazy. You know that when she was online and she was telling people for months that she felt suicidal, she hated her life, she wants to die, she's been molested. You know there are people out there calling her attention seeking. There are people who are even seeing her suicide video and saying she's attention seeking. Like, really? They're saying like that all of what she said is her being a drama queen. And what is so bad about seeking attention anyway? She only had internet friends. Her life was limited to that disgusting trailer and a mother who was doped up and a man who would call her a worthless whore while trying to get in her pants, who was also having sex with her mother. Of course she's gonna seek attention. What is so wrong with some of you who see that someone needs attention, whether it's a girl acting out sexually or somebody just crying out that they're in despair? What is wrong with so many of you who get mad at that and annoyed and bothered? Do you not understand that not everybody is of the same mentality, whether it's genetics or environment or whatever, upbringing or lack thereof in this case? How can you act like that just because you internalize your feelings and you wouldn't do it, that everyone else should be the way you are? If there had just been one person like I had when I was her age, I had a boyfriend. His mother let me live with her when I was 12. I had my 13th birthday there. My mom went a year without even knowing where I was. Not that she cared. And if it had not been for him when I swallowed a bunch of aspirin when I was around her age, I wouldn't be here right now. Katelyn didn't have that one person. Katelyn didn't have that somebody. And for all of you to make fun of, you're basically making fun of mental health is what you're doing. If she had died as a result of any other sort of health problem, no one would be ridiculing her, saying they're craving attention. This is the result of a beautiful, highly intelligent, creative girl who had a heightened awareness. Therefore, she knew she was being mistreated. She was aware that no one cared. All of us right now, yeah, we're saying that we care, but we didn't know her. We weren't in her circle. We did not know her. And she needed just one person in her real life to say, you know what? I'm here for you no matter what, and you're awesome. You're amazing. And these people are the fucked up ones, not you. When he tells you to hang yourself, that's a projection of his own inner misery. She needed just that one voice. I can't stop thinking about this case and all of you cruel fucks. I couldn't even post a video talking about this case without me being accused of attention seeking. I mean, I haven't posted videos on my YouTube channel in God knows how long. I mean, you can look at my last video. There's been a shit ton of things that have occurred over the whatever. If I really wanted attention, I could talk about how I've been in the homeless shelter just a month ago and months before that. How my kids and I, 2 weeks before Christmas, were in a hotel because we had nowhere to live. I could go on and on and on and on about all this horrible stuff that's been in our lives. Things are better now. But I haven't. This is because Katelyn's story, the abuse that nobody cares about, her being put on Prozac, okay, this man that got on her Facebook account right after she killed herself. You know why that fucker got on her Facebook account? It's very, very obvious. Excuse my language, but it's very obvious. Right after she hangs herself, the day after, he's on her Facebook account. He's just a man who had sex with her mother a few times. He was not her parent in any way. He wasn't even a friend. He was somebody who violated her, disrespected her, and abused her. And then he has the nerve to get on her Facebook. You know exactly why he did it that next day. He was deleting messages. He was deleting evidence. There is absolutely no compelling reason why he would be on her account. Even if he wasn't deleting anything, that's a violation right there. To be on her page after her life is gone, I'm just, something needs to be done about this. And no offense to Polk County, okay, but do not have a reputation for following up like they should on evidence. I really hope they have good computer forensic investigators who come and can dig up deleted messages. I really hope that they have a thorough investigation rather than like the ones that I used to have to deal with when I lived down south around that area. I really hope that someone from California, like the person from California, an investigator from California was the first one who even noticed her suicide video. They called up Polk County Police to let them know that there was a girl killing herself on live stream. I mean, come on. Get with the program. Again, I'm not trying to insult Polk County Police, but I really hope they do their due diligence here. That's the least she deserves. Her story needs to be known though, because there are so many parents who go around telling their kids to shut up, telling their kids I'm gonna whoop your ass. That's supposed to be acceptable lingo apparently, because I've even seen in threads where mothers are trying to defend that sort of language. This mother popping pills, she's not the but some of my best friends growing up had a mom who popped pills. Bless her heart, she's not alive anymore, but she put her kids through hell as a result, and everybody acted like she was a victim. I'm so sick of this attitude. You know, if an addict is an addict, yes, it's sad, but if they have kids, they need to step up. They need to either put their kid up for adoption, or they need to they need to let the withdrawals take place so they can get off that damn drug. And I've seen it happen, and it can happen. And that mom this story needs to spread awareness. Those recordings of her fights with her mother, they need to get spread, because maybe it'll enlighten some of you to see how you sound when you talk to your kids this way. Katelyn shouting over and over, I feel this way, I feel that. And her mother's just saying that she's wrong. She's not even validating Katelyn's feelings. We cannot help the feelings we have. They enter our body, and they deserve acknowledgement, especially from our parents. Katelyn was just, with her big cosmic blue eyes and her singing. Have you heard her singing? She sang that song Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin. She had such a beautiful voice. She had so much talent, and I think her heightened awareness, she wasn't like some ignorant whatever. I mean, she had this heightened awareness. Unfortunately, she was aware of all of her talent and gifts and beauty, and she was trapped in this disgusting filth. Hillary Swank, she grew up in a trailer. She had people, though, who loved her and cared about her. I'm so sick of people chalking this off to, oh, well, she grew up in a trailer park. No! It's because she didn't have any real life connection to anyone. That's what we're social creatures, we're mammals. We have to have a social connection in order to feel like our existence is worthy of existence. That's the reality of it. I can't. And before anybody tries to say that she could possibly be making up what she said about that horrible stepdad monster, other cousins in the video she recorded are clearly talking about how he's tried to touch all of them. So he obviously has a reputation that precedes him. So please don't even try to go there. On a positive note, I wanted to mention how Katelyn, you can tell, loved babies so much. The middle of one of her really long videos, she's, these kids that she's with all day, she shows more engagement and love for these kids than some of my friends do for their own kids. Some of my friends would rather drop their kids off, their babies, at daycares just so they can have some extra money. They don't even have to work, but they'd rather just have extra money than spend time with their own babies. And Katelyn, in this video, she could have hate and resentment toward these kids, for what she has to do all day. It's not even her responsibility. But she's tickling them and rolling around with them and playing and laughing for 5 to 10 minutes, like just genuine love for these babies. And this was during a live stream where people in the audience were asking her, because she responded to them, are those your kids? She could have been like angry about the situation and embarrassed, but I mean, what an awesome soul. She didn't harbor all this hate in her heart because of her situation, like these guys who've shot up schools, shot innocent kids in schools and done mass shootings, and it's always because they claim that they were depressed and stuff. She didn't harbor that sort of hate. She was the opposite. She was apologetic and loving, and she was so loving that even before she killed herself, she was apologizing to us. She was telling us that she was sorry. Sorry that we'd have to see her suicide. Apologizing to us. That's how much love and empathy she had in her heart. You know, she could have been like, screw all of you. I hate you. I hate the world. But no, she was apologizing to us. That's how much empathy and love she had in her heart. That's why I say I feel like she was truly of a higher intelligence. She was very creative, very smart. And as a result, I think her heightened awareness made her love so much. She loved too much. That was the only problem with Caitlyn, was that she loved too much. She cared about people too much. She literally said, I'm so sorry you're gonna have to watch my death, my suicide. She said, I'm sorry you're gonna have to see my suicide. She said this. She apologized to us for her having to feel so sad. You know, it's become trendy for girls to sing about everybody's beautiful. Look in the mirror. You're so beautiful. Everyone's equally beautiful and gorgeous. We're all beautiful the way we are. Look in the mirror. We're so pretty, all of us equally. But what about acting beautiful? Caitlyn acted beautiful. She made videos at 12 years old begging her audience, if they feel depressed, come to you. I mean, come to me. That's what she said. Come to me. If you're depressed, I will make you feel better because I don't want you to feel depressed. That is a beautiful person. That's the type of person we should all strive to be like. Not outward beauty. Who cares if some of us are ugly? That shouldn't be the focus anyway. Her internal beauty, aside from her external beauty that was just, oh my god, like those beautiful cosmic sapphire eyes, like really, aside from that, she had an outstanding personality. And she was so mature for her age, and I think that also contributed to her heightened awareness, and because they go hand in hand. And I guess it's just like reading the comments and seeing all of these reactions that are actually having the nerve to act like she's just the result of poverty or lack of education or whatever. I mean, no. There are many people who grew up just like she did. It was because she had no connection. She had no one there for her. Everyone treated her like she was a burden. She was constantly tossed around by people. She was treated like an object by everyone. She couldn't even get a moment of peace at 12 years old. I guess it's just like seeing her last moments, which I know I honestly shouldn't have seen, but seeing those last moments and knowing that it was a real life event and that I was here on that night on the same planet she's on, and that none of us, even with it being live, even with cars passing by, not a single person intervened in any way. uh, I that's it's just I'm never gonna this it's never gonna leave my mind. I think so many of us can relate to her too, because I've seen comments saying, why does she exhibit or exude rather so much sexuality for 12? Well, actually, I commend her because she was definitely in a position where she could have shown her body to people online. She was asked many times, and because of having no one there, no guardian to watch her really ever, I mean, she was the guardian. She even told people online she was pretty much the mother of those kids. She would still refuse to ever show her body. So, congratulations, Caitlyn, because that was more control than I had at her age. So, I mean, but my response to these people who are like having the nerve to call out her exuding sexuality, she's 12. That's the age where your hormones are there. They are active. Like, it's not that odd that at 12, and honestly, she has a look that most 12-year-olds don't have, in my opinion, because she was already had hips and a figure and these big beautiful eyes, and like I said, her old soul personality. She had this maturity, and when you are just all consumed with your internet life and you're babysitting all day, you're not really a child. She wasn't in sports or dance class, or there in one video her stepdad jokes about how she didn't go to school. So, I mean, really, it's not her fault anyway if she was exuding sexuality. And so many of us, I think of all these kids who have these wonderful lives and they're pampered and they're doing this and that and whatever, and good for them if they're not exuding sexuality. They have a totally different life. How can you blame a 12-year-old? How is she supposed to set her own standards? Give me a break. She was a very awesome person, huge heart, huge soul, and she did have self-respect. And if even if she didn't, and then I see religious people saying that she's gonna burn in hell, saying that what she did was a sin. Are you sick? This right here is one of the number one reasons why religion has always repulsed me since I was a kid. I don't want to end this though saying all this. You should hear Caitlin's giggle and her laugh when she's with those kids and she's on the bed and she's tickling that baby. You should hear her giggle. You should meditate on her joy and her smile and her words. Listen to her words. Listen to what she was saying when she was saying, I feel hopeless. I feel worthless. I don't know what to do. I can't do this anymore. She wasn't just saying it. She wasn't faking her voice. She didn't have a face of makeup on. She was holding her head in despair, barely looking at the camera, saying these words at 12 years old. And there were nothing but perverts in the audience asking her. They were just some of them, yes, not all of them were hitting on her, although I'm sure they all had some sort of agenda talking to her in these public chat room things. But not a single one of those fuckers actually offered her help or called CPS on her freaking parents. Hey, honey, where do you live? Yeah, to try to help her life. You know, there were people witnessing this. That's the sickest. That's just the sickest. She wasn't kept locked in a basement or something. I mean, there were some people who were made privy to what was going on. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say.